This is inside Liverpool. Liverpool haven't replaced Gini Wijnaldum ever since he left the club, but now they might have found an ideal candidate who could also solve the club's Fabinho problem. Liverpool have been looking to find a resolution to their midfield problems ever since the departure of Gini Wijnaldum. The Dutchman was the last player who could completely provide cover for Fabinho in the Brazilian's absence in the holding midfield role, and since his departure, Liverpool have been vulnerable. Ever since Wijnaldum left the club, Liverpool have relied on Fabinho far too much and even rushed him back early from an injury to play in the Champions League final last season. That's how vital of a cog he has been to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool machine. The persecutions from that overload have been felt this season. Fabinho has looked jaded and a shadow of the player who was once regarded as one of the best in his position. Nowadays, Liverpool's midfield are a little disjointed and easy to exploit. A presence like Wijnaldum at his peak will be a welcome addition to the Liverpool midfield. And if Liverpool are serious about making the Champions League next season, they cannot afford to deter and wait until the summer in order to bolster the club's options. One player who is being monitored by the club, according to E-News, is Teun Koopmeiners, who the Reds have watched in the recent months, and who was another player involved in the Dutch national team at the World Cup, just like Cody Gakpo. This 24-year-old Koopmeiners has been catching the eye in the Serie A this season, and he could be an ideal profile to finally replace the Wijnaldum void at Anfield. A robust and technically gifted midfielder, he is more in the Xabi Alonso, more of a holding midfielder with great distribution and excellent reading of the game rather than a tough tackling midfielder, but he is also capable of playing further forward in a box-to-box, attacking midfielder role, which makes him the kind of multifaceted player Klopp loves to work with. On the whole, he has played the vast majority of his games in holding midfield at the club, and while at Atlanta, he has been required to play a bit further forward, which has dismissed his defensive stats. Taking a look at his numbers in the Eredivisie, where he played in a more defensive role for AS Alkmaar, similar to the one that would be required of him at Liverpool, Koopmeiners does show himself to be a competent defender. He ranked in the 87th percentile for tackles attempted and tackles won among his potential peers in the league, and won 56% of his 1-versus-1 defensive duel as per FBref. Even at the World Cup, Koopmeiners stood out for his ability to reprise possession after the group stage were concluded for players who have amassed the equivalent of at least 3 halves of football. Koopmeiners averaged the most tackles and interceptions per 90, winning 6.88 as per FBref. Not only that, Koopmeiners is the kind of player who is adept at breaking into the box or scoring from long range, and he could provide a threat both defensive and offensively if used in a more box-to-box role as well. Capable of playing both roles in a midfield, just like Wijnaldum. He is a far from one-dimensional player, which is exactly what the Liverpool midfield needs. Possessing an excellent range and lots of energy well suited to Klopp's gegenpress, Koopmeiners is valued at only £27 million by Transfermarkt, which would make him an affordable option even in the current window for the Reds. Still relatively young and with the kind of profile that will suit the club. If Liverpool are truly keeping an eye on him, then they would be smart to make a move in January.